All right, so we actually have a really spicy match coming up here for our next round. We've got Micol on the left playing Mono Black Devotion in Modern, and Will on the right playing Mono White Death and Taxes, the good versus evil matchup,
so to speak.
Yes, we've got Micol on our left, a Collector Legion regular. Normally on Infect, and decided to just change it up a little bit. Playing virtually all swamps, and
turn 1 Thoughtseize, ready to do it.
Will playing virtually all islands. All islands, pardon me, all planes. So what does he take here? There's, obviously you can't take the lance, but there's a Dryad Militant, the Leonin Arbiter, and then the Blade Splicer.
I'd say the Arbiter.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Arbiter, of course, against Micol's deck, knowing that he's just playing mono black, he's not going to be fetching all that much, is kind of just okay. With the Ghost Quarter, maybe it makes it a little bit worse. I can understand Micol wanting to take the Blade Splicer just because, you know, he does...
Mono white, you know you're going to have a Flicker Wisp or something?
Yeah, exactly. Will certainly has the lance to be able to eventually cast it. And it is a 2-for-1. Micol is playing cards like Gatekeeper of Malakir and those Edict type effects. You know, Will can just choose to sacrifice the Blade Splicer. And oh, look at Will. He is one of those disgusting players that decides to put his lens in front. We're kidding. He's not disgusting. Yes, he is. Oh, yep, here we go. Oh, and Will employing the strategy of holding the cards that Micol knows about upside down so he doesn't accidentally play something that his opponent doesn't know about.
Wow, I would never have thought of that.
Yeah, holding the cards upside down.
That's one way to do it.
Yep. Oh, and just like we discussed, the Gatekeeper of Malakir kicked. So 2-2 for 2 for black, and if you pay a black, you can... Oh, yes, and you can have your opponent sacrifice a creature. Interesting. Oh, was that double Ghost Quarter?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, shoot, it was double Ghost Quarter. Well,
I totally missed that, and wow, yeah. Back down to 1 land. But so is Will, so I mean, equal?
Yeah.
Depending on what their draws are.
We've got a 2-2 versus a 2-2. Will certainly has drawn more lands. The Ghost Quarter wasn't in the opening hand. We knew about the 1. We've got other lands in Will's hands, so certainly him going down on lands isn't the worst thing in the world. He's also playing an Aether Vial deck, so he can cheat on those lands and not have to worry about going up to the 3 or 4 to be able to cast his more expensive spells. And just
Bloodghast.
Followed up with the Bloodghast. As you can see, we're kind of building up to something like a Great Merchant of Asphodel. We've got 4 Black Devotion thus far, just spread over 2 creatures. Oh, and Will's follow-up, just a Thalia. A 2-power first striker against Micol's board is, well...
concerning if you're worried about Devotion.
Well, it blocks the entire field. So... deciding not to attack because the Thalia can just eat whatever Will wants it to, plays the Geralf's Messenger. And we haven't seen one of these in quite a bit from its standard powerhouse days. Comes into play tapped, it's a 3-2 with Undying, and drains. It doesn't drain for 2, your opponent loses 2 life.
When it comes in or whenever it attacks?
When it enters the battlefield. So it's able to do it twice.
Okay.
Granted... Geralf's Messenger isn't a fan of Path to Exile, so, I wonder if Will's all-white deck is playing any number of Path to Exiles. Spoiler alert, it totally is. But
still 4 damage. Well, yeah, minus the Exiles.
Yep. Despite the...
Oh, 2.
Yep, only having the 2 lands, now the 3rd, just strip mining Micol into oblivion. All of the creatures that Micol can play can be blocked
by the Arbiter.
By the Arbiter, for value, I guess. The Arbiter effect doesn't go away because Will has the replacement Arbiter. He can choose to block the Geralf's Messenger. It prevents quote unquote the most damage, but the Undying trigger comes back. It comes back, deals another 2, and becomes a 4/3. Bloodghast isn't all that profitable. Because of the landfall trigger, so you can block the Gatekeeper, or as we expected, or you could just let it go through, taking What are we, that's 7 damage. Not the end of the world. He can play a little bit more aggressively, and well, if Micol's only follow-up is a Bloodghast, he's not in for a good time. That said, only having 4 power on the battlefield for Will. Oh, and getting aggressive. Well, being at 11, it's not the end of the world. Still possibly only taking 7 on the crackback, and having 3 cards in hand, 2 cards in hand with 3 mana up. I wonder if he's holding anything back.
Did that gas come in last turn? Was it supposed to be tapped down?
Different Thalia.
Different Thalia.
Not Heretic
I'm still playing standard over here.
Yes, Guardian of Thraben. Guardian of Thraben.
It's just for strike, okay.
Yes. Oh,
and there's the path on that guy.
As we can expect, the path to
and
exile.
that's it, scoop.
And
that was it.
That's a scooping on up. It was, well, his only blocker, Micol being at 4, makes sense.
It does too.
Yeah, well, let's see how Game 2 ends up.